Can we solve this twin flame once and for all? Yeah, probably, but it's gonna take going way deeper than you have before. Fine by me, let's just get it over with. Well, the most direct mention of a twin flame type thing in history is actually by the ancient Greek philosopher himself, Plato. Now, Plato's Symposium doesn't use the term twin flame, but talks about the original human. He wrote that humans once had 4 legs, 4 arms, and 2 faces. But the gods felt threatened by this, so Zeus split the people in 2. Humans would wander in search of their other half. But if you want to go deeper, when a person meets the half that is his very own, something wonderful happens. The two are struck from their senses by love, by a sense of belonging to one another, and by desire, and they don't want to be separated from one another, not even for a moment. These are people who finish out their lives together and still cannot say what it is they want from another. Aristotle also said love is composed of a single soul inhabiting 2 bodies. What other evidence of this is there in history? Well, there's no shortage of websites claiming that twin flames have been proven in Hindu mythology and in the Bible, and this is their reasoning. The most obvious reference, according to them, is Shiva and Shakti, a manifested combination of both consciousness and energy, a masculine and feminine force joining together. There's also Radha and Krishna, 2 deities following a path to divine love. These websites also say something along the lines of the Bible having references to twin flames and the idea of a mirror soul. They like to quote Samuel 18, 1 through 30, which reads, "As soon as he had finished speaking to Saul, the soul of Jonathan was knit to the soul of David, and Jonathan loved him as his own soul." Sounds legit. Well, you see, I'm not so sure. While the relationship between Shiva and Shakti shares certain elements of spiritual partnership and divine union, it doesn't actually directly align with the concept of twin flames, which is what people are teaching nowadays. Twin flame relationships typically have 2 souls that were originally one and then split into 2 separate bodies, destined to find each other and embark on a transformative journey of spiritual growth and union. And this is kind of a reach to say that Shiva and Shakti are twin flame, because you could do that for everything. For example, I could say that we are all twin flames because we all come from the same source. See how the meaning of the words break down when we try to skew the definition to fit the narrative? I feel like this is the same thing with the Bible verse. The soul of Jonathan was knit to the soul of David doesn't necessarily imply twin flames. It could also just imply the concept of soul groups. Soul groups are a concept that was made famous by a lot of past life and before life regression books, such as Journey of Souls by Dr. Michael Newton and Between Life and Death by Dolores Cannon. Throughout Journey of Souls, Newton describes how souls are often part of a larger soul group that all incarnate together for various purposes. These groups may be referred to as soul groups, soul families, or soul clusters. Newton kind of tells us that souls within a group share a deep connection and frequency and choose to incarnate together to support and learn from one another. Dr. Newton's work is so fascinating, and remind me, we're gonna talk about that another time too. It's wild because there was tens of thousands of people regressed into the spirit world, and they were all saying the same exact thing, even before he had any books, before anyone could find any of his work. They were talking about the same concepts, and they all lined up, and the process worked every time, and it's just absolutely wild. So souls could just be recognizing and connecting in frequency to another one of their soul group, and then through this programming, just think that it's twin flames? Exactly. Also, have you heard of trauma bonding? No, I haven't. Trauma bonding is the theory that souls or energetic aspects of individuals become entangled or intertwined due to the intensity of the shared trauma. This bond can manifest in different ways and may involve a strong sense of connection, a feeling of being energetically tied to one another, or a shared experience of unresolved emotional or energetic wound. Sometimes people call this type of thing a karmic relationship as well. It's where people have a history of shared experiences or unresolved issues from past lives, and they have karma that's accrued and they have to work that out. And this can create a lot of intense emotions, repetitive patterns, and kind of a sense of unfinished business that needs to be addressed. So let me get this straight. You're saying that 2 people could have been connected in a past life and that they're recognizing that connection, but they're mistaking it for a twin flame. It could be another option. Or they went through so much shit together that they bonded over it, and that bond, they're thinking it's a twin flame? Yeah, could be. Damn, sounds like a fucking mess. So when you say that someone's your twin flame, at this point, you're pretty much guessing, yeah? Oh, well, damn. Right now, there's a lot of so-called spiritual leaders stating that the purpose of a twin flame is to ascend, not to reach union with their twin flame. And I'm not really sure where they got this idea from after researching, and they seem to just be mixing kind of new age type ideas into the definition of a twin flame. And this is what we see prevailing in society right now. People just trying to change the meaning of words to fit into teachings that they believe. And that's how the meaning of words change over time. It happens with a lot of different words. If you repeat it with a specific meaning long enough to enough people, then the culture changes around that word. Because if we look at the actual origination of twin flame in history, it's very clear that the purpose, according to Plato, is to reach union with the other half, not to so-called ascend. But hey, Plato could have been wrong. And let's just be real here, there's no real way to tell if twin flames are real or not. Again, we come back to the time-worn path of subjective experience. I think in the end, it could be a trauma bond, soulmate, or twin flame. But for me, I see so many people staying in narcissistic and abusive relationships because they are convinced that this person is their twin flame. So it more often than not gets used to justify terrible behavior and staying in abusive situations. It kind of reminds me of the savior complex. You need someone else to now save you, because before it's been religion sometimes. You need a savior, someone else that has the power outside of you to save you. This is kind of the repetitive thing. And remember, this isn't based in history. This is just what people are saying now. It's like the people that are outside of religion are taking a religious overtone, which is the savior complex, and then placing it unconsciously into a new belief system. I think also, if we look at history, what do the mystics and masters who have dedicated their entire lives to enlightenment, self-realization, what are they telling us? They're telling us that within us, we can reach a state where we are one with everything. I've never heard anyone who's dedicated their entire life to self-realization say that twin flames was the answer. And I've studied a lot of different people. But maybe they're missing something, but it's interesting that traditions that have been studying self-realization for thousands of years never mentioned it as far as we know. Don't you think at least one of them would have said, hey bro, you're missing half of you. We're missing, it's out there. We gotta go find them. Nothing. It's so interesting. And who knows? At the end of the day, to me, looking outside of yourself, thinking that you're not whole yet until you connect with another half of you, is a wild game to play. And good luck to you if you decide to play it. All right, that'll do it for today's deep dive into twin flames. If you enjoyed this dive in, consider sticking around, subscribing, maybe hitting like. I'm trying to figure out how to grow as a small channel to grow into a bigger channel. And so if you like this work, you want to see more of it, it really helps if you hit the like button and if you subscribe and stick around. So we'll be doing more topics just like this. And thank you to all of my patrons, all of my friends that are part of Universe the Game on Patreon, where we dive deep. Once a week, we have a live workshop and a whole community of people who are really like-minded and reaching that next level in life. And if you want to join the Patreon community, the link is in the description. That keeps this ship running. And let me know your thoughts down below and maybe some topics that you want to see. We'll see you in the next. And until then, peace!